Welcome to Bridging the Generation podcast. And today again, I have a very special guest. Now, this brother right here, see, when I get guests like this, man, this is an honor, man, because not just not just because the brother is a very talented individual, because this brother's from my city, man, and I love what this brother's doing, man. I've been checking him out, for a while now, man, and I love what he got going on, man. I love this movement that he's a part of, man. And it's an honor to have this brother, man. I'm talking about Enoch, seventh prophet, man. What's going on, brother?
Peace, man. I'm good. I'm living in the moment, man. Trying to stay out of the way.
That's it, man. You know how that is, man. Like
Yep.
it's a lot of craziness going on, man. But I love that in the midst of all this craziness that's going on, man, you're able to release such transcendent music, man, that really resonates with our community, man, and with society abroad, man. So
Right.
how's everything going, man, with this COVID, and how you maintaining, man?
I'm just, honestly, to be honest with you, I just trying to stay out of the way, really. You know what I mean? And just now being more to myself than I was before, just a little bit, you know, taking inventory of yourself while you were going through these particular moments of life, and just,
Yeah.
evaluating your friendships, evaluating a whole lot of stuff that we probably never had the chance to evaluate until we was told, like, sit down for a minute. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So, and then on top of that, trying to still create in that process. You know what I'm saying? And that's not difficult. It's just it's another part of the chapter of
Right.
me. It's just trying to, how to write things that's basically relevant, or just to keep everybody in the know in that process too. So
No doubt.
It's a balance.
Do you think with everything that's going on, even though it's a lot of things that's going on is very disheartening, but do you think it also gives you, great material,
I think it's very disheartening at times, because you're out as an artist, you out and about, you mingling with the people, or you just
Right.
out in the streets, you know what I'm saying, taking the bus, train, walking down U Street, whatever, you know what I'm saying, you do as far as living in the city you're at,
Right.
that kind of gets taken away. But now you can still do that, but you got to have on the mask in the process, and I think it is, for us as independent artists, the playing field is even, because when you think about it, those mainstream artists that we love are back on the internet doing what we've been doing for years. You know what I'm saying?
That's fact.
It's like, say for instance, it's like Layla Hathaway coming back to an open mic.
Right. Yeah.
Damn. You start
Exactly.
from you know what I'm saying? Now we're like here.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
we've been doing this internet thing way before everything was kind of
Exactly.
shut down. Now
Exactly.
it's an even playing field, but now you see more of our mainstream artists doing more internet stuff and being interactive. We've been doing that for years. It's just
Right.
So that puts me on the playing field of, like, okay, we're on the same
like
playing
that,
field. So now
I like that. You just brought a very brought up a very profound point, man, because when I look at artists such as yourself, man, I'm starting to realize, like, a lot of music fans, hip hop fans are starting to get hip to artists like yourself, because their focus is not on the things that they would normally be focused in the way they receive music. So it's social media, it's through the internet, and that's where we're learning about brothers like yourself, and we realize that, hey, man, ain't nothing separate you from the only thing that separate you from this other artist is a machine. That's it. It ain't the talent.
That's it. That's the only thing that separates independent artists from the machine, for those with the machine.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? And we're so interactive for us, we're so interactive on social media. Like, I can DM you, it may take you a minute to hit me back, but that's you hitting me back. You know what I'm saying? And that's you commenting on my comment. That's us commenting on each other's joints. Now the artist himself, who has been in the mainstream for God knows how long, and thought they'll never need the internet, now they have to pay somebody to do it, or they feel like I got to come back and see where the pulse of the people at. Now you start from square one if you really
Yeah.
haven't been on it
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. It's really it's showing a lot what a lot of these artists are really made of, man. It really, like you said, it really evens the playing field, man. Because I believe you take a lot of if you take the machine away from a lot of these artists, man, with all due respect, man, a lot of these artists, they'll fall on their face, man. I mean, to say it, to try to put it as respectful as I can, you know.
Yeah, they will. They would.
Yeah.
So we just keep it forward though. That's it.
It's all good, man. So look, hey, brother, again, man, I can't believe that I have you on here, and you know what? Like I've heard of you for years, man, but I because there's so much music, man. You know, it takes me a while to get like I can't get to every like I'm a music guy, like
Right.
like I'm a man of a certain age, so my point of reference is wide. But
Right.
even with that being said, man, it's artists like yourself, as great as you are, man, can slip through the cracks because it's just so much music to consume now today. So, you know, to have you on here, brother, it's an honor, man. Because like I said, man, even though I just recently, this past year, really delved into your catalog. What I know, what once I delved into your catalog, man, I'm realizing, man, brother, like it just warms my heart, man, to know that we got artists like yourself, man, and especially from my city, man, that's doing what you're
Right.
doing. So, first of all, man, so where exactly are you from?
Well, just to salute you as well before I get into that. Just to
Nah,
salute
go
you as
ahead, brother.
well because you know, your podcast is basically that's the concept. It's the bridge generations. That's the concept. That's what hip hop's supposed to be doing, bridging the gap, you know, the generations,
Exactly.
the blend
Yeah.
that I take that I learned from you because you may be younger than me and I can add
Right.
that to what I'm doing, or I'm
Right.
older than you, then you can
Right.
add, you know what I'm saying, and still make it our own. You know what I'm saying? So
Exactly.
with that being said, I definitely salute you for even going back and listening to some of the old stuff and knowing who I was, but then you know, telling the truth about it. It's like, man, there's so much music and stuff going on out here. I kind of lost in the cracks, but I came back just to see what you was about. So I definitely appreciate that transparency from you as well.
Nah, I appreciate that, brother. It's an honor, man, and I'm glad that you understand artists. You know, I'm glad that we have artists, man, that like yourself that understands that, man, because it's you know you guys out here putting together these masterpieces, man. These blood, sweat, and tears in this music, man,
Right.
and I know you wanted to reach everybody, man, but it's just so much, man. So, but I hit
So
the
much you can
lottery,
do.
man. So I hit the
I
lottery.
appreciate
I
it.
got you here.
I appreciate it. So I'm from Washington D.C., nation's cap, Chocolate City. Now it's like maybe vanilla mocha right now, but other than that, you know, man, we Chocolate City all day. You know, I
Yeah.
was born at not Walter Reed. I was born at which is now called Walter Reed Hospital. But prior to that, born and raised in Washington D.C. Probably when I was about 3 or 4, my grandma
Mm-hmm.
decided to say, "Hey, let's move out of the city. Let's move to Tacoma Park." Because my
Okay.
mom, she went to Blue, and but you know what I'm saying? I guess grandma was like,
Yeah.
nah, we can't do this no more.
Yeah.
Let's pick up and move. So you know, 10th Street
Outside.
uptown, South, yeah. So it was like 10th Street uptown in
Uh-huh.
that area. And then we end up moving from there to Tacoma,
Okay.
Maryland, Tacoma Park, Maryland. So
Okay.
that's where, you know, I did my schooling. So it was just
Okay.
like, you know, Piney Branch, you know,
You went to
going.
Blair?
No, I didn't go to Blair. I went to Springbrook High School.
Okay.
Yeah,
You
so I
was up
went to
there when was you up there when Sean Springs was up there?
Sean Springs graduated, I think, a year before me.
Okay.
Yeah, or 2 years. Yeah, Sean Springs was, I think he might have been out of there or on his way out when I was
Okay.
transitioning from like middle to high school
Right,
type of
right,
thing.
right.
If my memory serves me correctly. So you know, growing up on the same block, you know, seeing Steve Francis and Tacoma Park, you know, Maple
Okay.
Avenue, You know what I'm saying? And just growing up still in that particular area. And
Yeah.
then my educational background is like straight Mo County.
Okay, man. You know, one thing, man, I love about being from this area, man. Like, even though we all have different elements, man, and there's different things that separate us, man, as far as class and um the a lot of the demographics, man. But as far as our culture, man, we all share the same culture, man. You know, Montgomery County, PG County, Washington, DC, man. So I never,
Right.
I never was the type of person, man, just because I'm from DC, I look at somebody from PG, like, man, it's the same culture, man. And, I've learned so many things from brothers like yourself, and brothers like yourself from all over the city, man.
Right.
So
Right.
I love it, man. I love to hear a brother like yourself keep it real, man. Like, you
Right.
ain't gotta
Because the
say where you like keep it real. If you from Montgomery
right.
County, where what's
You're from Montgomery County. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like, cause some of us, who grew up in that like 70s, 80s era, some of
yeah,
us basically moved with our mom out of the city to Mo
right,
County, but our grandparent and or our dad was still in the city, or we had
right,
uncles or aunts. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Unfortunate enough for me, or fortunate enough for me, when I was living with my grandma and my mom, we picked
right,
up, moved to Tacoma Park, Maryland. My dad was still in the city, so he was
okay,
still uptown. So we would travel. I would travel with my mom back and forth to see
yeah,
my dad in the city. So it was like you had the best of both worlds in a
the
sense. You
best of both
wasn't
worlds,
really
yeah,
losing too much culture, but you were given some experiences within that process. And plus, my grandma, bless her soul, like she was a pastor. So
mm,
therefore, we had a church in DC. So it was
okay,
like you can't run away from
right,
Ninth and I North Street. Ninth and I. It was Ninth and I Northeast over there by where Heck and Jamal is, and then you
okay,
go right off 8th Street. So
okay,
after church, I was
yeah,
like talking to the dope dealers. You know what I'm saying? That was
yeah,
younger than me.
yeah.
That was out there. So it was
But
one
that's
of
the
them
thing I love,
things,
and
man.
that's the thing I love about you, man. Like your culture, man. Like when I listen to your music, man, like you represent DC, man. When I think of a DC artist, man, it's other artists, man, that hold it down for the city, man.
Right.
But a lot of people, when they think of DC, man, they think of the violence and they think of just these one-dimensional, this one-dimensional aspect of DC.
Mm-hmm.
And we're so many more things, man. There's so many more things that embodies us, man. And I feel like artists like yourself, man, you embody everything that the DC metro area represents, man.
I definitely appreciate it, but just to go back to your point, I don't I don't stress it. It just comes out naturally. Like
Exactly.
I don't brag and boast like I'm from the city and I try to,
Right.
some people think I'm not from here. Like if some people would think I'm from Philly. Some people would think, you know what I'm saying? I'm like Philly,
Yeah.
like but my whole demeanor is still DC, it's still
Yeah.
hip
Yeah.
hop, it's still that
Exactly.
flavor. So I have to put it in the music because
Exactly.
if you grew up around it and you grew in the culture, it's definitely gonna come out. But I never set out to write a rhyme like
Right.
to always put DC in it or
Right.
something about DC. If it's not the right time,
Right.
I don't do it. But if it is, then we go
Yeah,
in.
yeah, yeah. No doubt, no doubt, man. Like I said, you're very transparent in your music, man. Like it's not forced. It just seemed like it just flows natural, man. You basically, when I think of your music, man, you just basically you talk about what you see, what you grew,
Hmm.
the way that you grew up, things in your environment, man. And I think that's authentic. And I think why an artist like you is needed, man. So with that being said, I want to ask you, man, where did your love of music start? How did it all start for Enoch?
The love of music started in church because I can play all percussion. Like, I was my ear is trained to play by ear.
Okay.
So being raised with my grandmother and always going to church, she was trying to keep me active
Right.
without disciplining me all the time in church. Because as a young boy, we running around, we can't really sit still.
Yeah, yeah.
So my grandma gave me a bongo. Like you sit between your legs, a little bongo joint,
Okay.
and I got good at that. And then she got me some congas, and I was like, yeah, but this starting to hurt my hand. I'm not really, I'm in church, and I'm like, I'm not really
Yeah.
feeling this right now. I'm not.
Oh, nah,
I'm not.
I was listening to Sheila E, man, talking about how them things messed up her hands over the years.
Yeah. So you gotta tap them a certain way. But
Yeah.
I got busy with that, and then I got like a guitar put in my hand, like a bass guitar, and I could pluck with that, but play by ear. Like if you're singing or rapping or whatever you're doing, I can make a tune with it, but that wasn't my calling. So I ended up getting my first drum set was a pearl. My grandma my first drum set was a silver. My first drum set was a piece of drum set, like put together.
That's like the top of the line drum sets. If, for those who don't know musical instruments like that, like a pearl drum, that is like A1 of drums.
Right,
Of drum
right.
set.
That's like the A1. So it's like
Yeah.
pearl, it's Yamaha,
The Yamaha.
Lugwind,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then something else. But
Yeah.
Lugwinds are cheap. So
Yeah.
at any rate, I got that, and I started playing drums like professionally. I was playing drums probably at the age of 10 or 11 or 12, somewhere around there, because my mom was in a gospel group called Linda Go and the Gospel Spiritualettes. And I was
Okay.
like the youngest drummer in the culture of gospel music and gospel music, like musicians. So I was like the youngest drummer at that point. So I was like playing all around in different churches and stuff like that. But yeah,
That's crazy. When you was playing drums in the church, how old were you?
I started probably about five or
Wow.
six. Yeah, about 5 or 6, because my grandma would help me keep on beat. You know what I'm saying? Like just keep on beat. So that's why I started to.
So you was playing with the choir and all that at 5 years
Yeah,
old.
yeah. Like I said it. Like I said.
That's crazy.
Like I
That's
said
wild.
it. Like I said in a rhyme.
Yeah.
I said playing drums for the choir. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like I said that because I was playing drums in the choir, and my grandma did say, "Stop talking to those hustlers because your life will expire. Like you can't be like
Yeah.
them. You
Yeah. I
gotta."
remember that. I remember
You know what I'm
that.
saying? So yeah,
Yeah.
about when I
I didn't think
started to
you meant
get
that like
drums.
literally though.
Yeah, that's like that whole Reagan era
Yeah.
is through my eyes and what I
Yeah.
lived through. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, I try not to write frivolous rhymes because that makes no sense.
Uh-huh.
It doesn't as what me and King C call it, it's not emotional hip hop. We want to give you emotional hip hop, you know what I'm
No
saying?
doubt.
With that being said, so I would say like maybe around 6 or 7. I was the only 5 or 6 or 7. I was the only musician in my grandma's church. There was no guitar player. There was no keyboard player. I realized I was the heartbeat of like, because it was very old school, like stomp your feet, clap your
Yeah.
hands, and I was the heartbeat. So if so now me not staying on beat threw everybody
Right.
else off.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I started to realize that at an early age. So yeah,
Okay.
about 6 or 7, that's when I, really kicked it in, started playing for the choir
Mm.
and things of that nature. So yeah, it just grew from there.
Okay. All right, so you came into the music as a musician.
Yes.
Now, when did you fall in love with hip hop? Because we from DC, and let's be honest, man, and a lot of young people don't know this, but we were kind of late to the party, man, when it came to hip hop. Hip hop wasn't very popular in DC when I was younger. Like and definitely when you was younger, man. We had go-go was number one, and then everything else. You
Right.
had go-go, you had rhythm and blues, of course, and then you had, but that's what it is. So what got you into hip hop? What was some of the influences, man, as far
My
as hip hop?
my influence was Heavy D because I was a very chunky boy. You know what I'm saying? I was very chunky. I was, Heavy D. And I thought and I looked up to Heavy D
The
because
big
he
stuff.
was Mr. Big Stuff, Big Time, like that first album that dropped in like early, like late
Whoa,
90s.
whoa, 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 whoa. You ain't just say that big time album.
Yeah, that's
That
where
was that was the one right there, man.
yeah, man. Yeah, that
That
was the
was the one
one
that
for
got
me.
it. That's the one that took him out of there.
Yeah, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So seeing the videos and watching how this big guy can just move effortlessly
Yeah.
and still rhyme. I mean, I even saw, back then it was like saw a VHS tape of Heavy D and Boys somewhere, and he was still doing his thing and rhyming. I was like, yo, that's dope. But I think I started to actually get into rhyming in about 88 or 89. But Heavy D was basically my influence. Fat Boys, anybody who was fat, Chub Rock, you know what I mean? Anybody who was Big Brother, you know, Chub Rock, Heavy D, Fat Boys, anyone of that caliber. They were my influence. But I started writing 88, 89.
Okay. So, we're from the area, man, a lot of people don't know about the rich music history that we have here. Were you knowledgeable about that as a young kid, man, about the Marvin Gayes, the Van McCoys, the Stacey Lattisaws, and all of that? Like, how much of that influence, just what you do, or did you have any knowledge of that?
Yeah, I had a bunch of knowledge of that, and it was based around my mother. My mother she sung in a gospel group with Johnny Gill called Johnny Gill and the Stars of Faith, or the Wings of Faith.
The Wings of, yep.
Yeah, so she was in that group with him, and Johnny Gill was basically the lead singer. His mother was in that group. Lackey, who was like his brother, played the bass, and Bobby, he was on the drums. So I think my influence kind of started from, it wasn't like African Bambaataa or these other things, because we're from DC. That's not where we at. You know what I'm saying?
Talk about it. Exactly. I'm glad. That's why this moment, this interview is special to me, man, because you get it. You know what I'm saying?
That's not where we at.
Let's keep it real.
Keep it 100. Like, that's not where we were at. So we were looking at, like those Marvin Gayes, the Stacey Lattisaws, the Johnny Gills, those particular artists who just like, oh, they're from DC. Oh, okay. So where the hip hop guys at who are from DC? Yeah. But my whole notion of that, or vibration of it, was basically Johnny Gill and Stacey Lattisaw. When I saw Johnny Gill, we was coming out of and I knew him, so it was just like, it wasn't nothing new. And he was my cousin at the time too, so it was nothing new. But when I stepped outside,
you don't know, man, Johnny from the South Side, man.
You know what I'm saying? Like, when I stepped outside the church, I said it in Bolo's rap. I was like, Stacey Lattisaw, Johnny Gill signing autographs in front of the church. That's why I brought that. That shit is real. It's like, it's real. So when I saw Johnny Gill hop out of a limo with Stacey Lattisaw, I said, yo, okay, somebody can get out the hood, and it's not just Marvin, those people that I've heard about but never seen. It's somebody that I know and I watched grow up.
Marvin was like larger than life.
It was larger than life, man. So that was my influence. And then I started to get into, I think my first introduction to like educational part of hip hop was KRS-One's, Boogie Down Productions, Jimmy. The J, the I, the M, the M, the Y is Jimmy. That taught me how to put on a record. I was like, this is my joint. So that's why I started. And then, Salt and Pepper them came along. But my first influence of it was Johnny Gill, Stacey Lattisaw, and then it was like Black Indian, and then it was like Nonchalant, and then it was like Section 8 Mob and Question Mark Asylum. I was just like, whoa, cool. This is where we at.
Yeah.
So, it's like, okay, this is where it's at.
DC Scorpio.
And DC Scorpio, Tony Blunt. You know what I'm saying?
Stinky Dink.
Yeah, Stinky Dink. And then you even had who our Biggie of DC was. Like, you think about who our Biggie of DC was that got shot at the roller rink.
Oh, Fat Rodney, man. Rest in peace to Fat Rodney.
And then you got Fat Rodney. You cannot talk about DC hip hop if you don't talk about DC rock, if you don't talk about Fat Rodney.
This is why you here, brother. This is why you here, man. You can't talk about DC hip hop if you don't. Y'all, you guys got to hear that, man. Say that one more time, brother.
You can't talk about DC hip hop if you are not mentioning Fat Rodney in the sentence of DC hip hop.
It's facts.
You cannot write a book about DC hip hop if you don't have Fat Rodney in there.
That's facts. Yeah.
You're missing the whole point. You can't have a DC, you can't talk about DC hip hop or DC go-go if you're not talking about the Senators. You can't.
Yeah, man. Like I said, man, like we have a very rich history of music, man. And I appreciate brothers like you, man, that's coming along and still preserving that, but you do it through hip hop, man. You
Right.
know, and I feel like it resonates with the people, man. Like once someone hears your music, they get it, man. Like I really feel like we need artists like you, man. This is what we need in hip hop, and this is why I can't stress it enough, brother. I know this is probably like the third or fourth time I said it, but this is why this is a special moment for me, man. Because when I first heard of you, man, and really got hip to what you're doing, the brother DC Decades, man.
Okay. Yeah.
That's my guy, man. That's my man. He the one that really put me on to you, man. As far as like yo, you need check this dude out. Like I know I see you on the credits on a couple of projects, and when he put me on to, I was like blown. Oh, I said that's when I hit you up. I said I gotta have this guy on the show, man.
Right. Yeah.
I gotta have him on the show. He's an older brother, man. Like yo, ain't nothing like an elder brother from the city, man. Like like our wisdom, and not to just count anybody else from wherever you from or whatever, because everybody has their own knowledge and wisdom and culture, but it's just different, man. You know, it was just something I'm gonna be honest, brother. I'd never seen before, brother. A brother of your age that's nice like that, man. That's sounding the way that you sound. It literally blew me away, brother.
Well, I definitely appreciate it. I always get even when I meet people in person or they hear the music, they be like, "How old are you again?" I'm like, "I'm 47." They're like, "Well, you don't seem like you 47." I say, "Well, I got a young soul, or I'm just, I have a different type of energy and just feeding off of the young artists that I know, and then and not being closed-minded to certain beats or certain artists that I may just ride my bike to or jump rope to. I'm still listening to artists that, I'll still listen to a Lil Wayne album. I may not bump it I may not knock it in my house all the time, but you can probably find me ride my bike with it or jumping rope with it because it's a different type of, vibration.
Right. No doubt. Music is a feeling. I always say music is a feeling.
Yeah. So I tell everybody this. I think I started writing differently after I got divorced. I started writing differently after I got divorced because no slight to how I was married and when I was married, it was just basically, it allowed me as an artist to be now, I'm gonna say what the hell I want to say and how I'm gonna say it. Because if I can't get it out, writing it down, it would never come out.
Facts. No, I get that.
You know what I'm saying? It's certain words I never try to use in a rhyme. I never try to like disrespect women in rhymes. I try not to use the B word. I try not to. These are things that I've always consciously tried not to do. But when I released Bolo's rap, I had to put, Mary, that bitch set me up. Watch, because that is like, that's what happened. That's what he said.
I did a book report on that. Like when I heard that, I was like, man, you took me back to that day, Jay. That happened on my birthday, January 16, 1990. I never forget that. I was like, man, he is really like, this is what I'm talking about, man. This is what the F I'm talking about, man.
Right.
You really painted the picture, man. You really, painted the picture of this particular era, man. And you're not just doing it off of hearsay. You lived it.
Yeah. So, and King C, who's my me and him co-own and operate Chakra Music. He's also the producer and the DJ. So basically, he was like, "Yo, Enoch, you just gotta live, and you gotta live alone. You gotta live more.
You know what?
Live more so you can write."
That was about to be my next question. I want to touch on that. I swear, man. Like I said, this is special, man. I was just about to ask you about that because I noticed you dropped your first project back in 2004, and you have been consistently putting out music, man. But do you think with you being, older than the typical hip hop artist, man, you kind of have an edge on a lot of people because you have life experience? What's your take on that?
I think I may perceive things a little differently than others.
Okay.
Me, I may be a little older than you, but that doesn't mean I know more than you.
Facts. That's
You
true.
know what I'm saying?
Right, right,
Because
right.
you could have experienced something I've never experienced before, and I can't put that into words.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I
Right.
mean?
Okay.
So by me living meanings I'm just not thinking about writing. I'm not thinking
Mm.
about hip hop. I'm not thinking about the next show. I'm just living, and then when
Right.
the beat comes, my living shows in my rhyme. It can be
Okay.
something from way back in the day that I'm conjured up again to make it
Right.
sound dope, you know. And I think my edge over a lot of artists who maybe, you know, a little younger than me or a little older than me, I think my edge is basically that I'm multi talented. Like I do my own photography. I can
Mm-hmm.
shoot my own video and edit it. I can
Right.
record myself and do things. I can make my own flyers. I can promote my like I can do a lot of things
Mm-hmm.
that a lot of my counterparts can't. And then a
Okay.
lot of maybe the younger ones are learning how to do
Right.
because they're still
Okay.
finding themselves. You know what I'm saying? The younger artists are still finding themselves and trying to figure out where they fit in this
Right.
big old thing of hip hop. Me, I think I found where I'm at, and I'm comfortable with what I talk about and how I speak it, and how I take my photography, how I, you know, see my videos coming out.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? So I think I am still mastering that, but I think I found my own little niche for that works for me.
I agree. I agree. Like I said, man, I feel like you're a very authentic artist, man, a very authentic human being. And I feel that the type of music that you make, the only difference that separates you from the Talib quality is just the machine or whatever. And no knock
Right,
against these guys, but
right. But that's true.
you carved out your own niche. You're very you have a very distinct flow. You have a
Hmm.
very distinct look. So you definitely stand out, man. But um, I just it's amazing, man, to see brothers like yourself, man. That's nice. It's one thing to do music, but it's one thing to be really good at the shit.
Right.
You know.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. Absolutely.
so
And I
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off, brother.
no, I was gonna say just to backpedal back, it's just like my first I think my first project was on the tape and it was like 1996 and it was called A Fickle Mind State. And then 2004
That's
we
the one I
dropped
remember.
yeah,
2004.
2004 we dropped Enoch 7 Prophet, which is like an EP. And
Right.
then we just kept it moving. So I think from that 1996
Right.
tape
Right.
started my evolution of trying to find out where I was and trying to carve a niche
Right.
into
Right.
what I was doing and make it dope
Mm,
because I surrounded myself or people were surrounded around me and I surrounded myself around no yes men. If it's not dope, tell me it's not dope. What can I do
right.
to make it doper? Oh, Enoch, that's not dope. You know, gotta go back in the back in the
Right.
day, it's like there's no punch in. You got to
Right.
do the whole rhyme over
The
again.
whole yeah, yeah,
Now you
yeah.
can punch in, but back then I still don't punch in when I draft
Oh, you
record stuff at home. I do it over because I know I can do it better. You know what I'm saying?
you keep
So
it old school, man.
I keep it old school. So it's just basically those
Yeah.
particular things that
Okay.
I guess that cars me out to be a little
Right.
to be more comfortable in what I'm doing, man.
So
You
do
got to be
you
comfortable.
do you still have the same management or the same team that you had, like back in 2004? Whole new
Nah,
team?
nah, it's a whole new team. You know what I'm saying? And it's not even a team, G. Let's keep it 100. It's me and DJ King C.
Where did we I was gonna bring up him a little later, man, but since we talking about him, where he from? And
King C from
what's the story, the relationship with that brother? Because as I listened to a lot of your catalog, I went through your entire catalog, which
Mhm.
took me about 4 days. But I noticed he produces a bulk of it.
Right.
So how did you link with how did you link with King C, man, and put that whole thing together, man? Because you guys put some magic together, man.
I
When you
appreciate it.
guys come together, man, it's
I
dope.
appreciate it, man. I definitely appreciate it. King C from Uptown. You
You
know
from
what I'm
uptown?
saying? He
Okay.
was born and raised here. He went to Coolidge, I believe. Um,
Oh, Coolidge.
so he born and raised here. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I knew of I'm gonna before I knew who King C was. There was a group in DC called the Beggars. The Beggars was a part of a whole affiliation with Wu-Tang, and they had the Swarm album. King C is the one who produced the Swarm album. I mean,
I
the
remember
Swarm
that.
on the Strength.
Yeah.
My pardon self, on the
Yeah, I
Strength.
remember that. Yeah.
He produced that along with some other brothers that was in
Wow.
affiliated with the Beggars. And when I started to, of course, you know, I kind of think, you know, I'm just gonna keep like historically all mapped out. It's like that same year, you know, you had that same year they was doing their thing. I met King C probably 2000, 2001, 2000, maybe 2003 or 4, because we were running this open mic called True School. And True School was like the longest open mic ran in DC ever. So
where was this at, on U Street?
On U Street at Capital City Records.
Yeah, I remember that. I don't think I was back then. I think I was working at the Reed Center back then.
Okay, that's what's up. Yeah. So I met King C 2003 at a beat battle. We had a beat battle called the Beat Grinders, and I'm you know, hosting in the carrying on it, and we had him as a judge. And it was him. It was another brother by the name of who was a part of the Beggars. They were judges. They was like our special judges, you know. And then we decided. King told a friend of ours. He was like, "Yo, I got some beats for Enoch, but I don't know, you know, I don't know if he'll accept the beats type of thing. Like, I don't know." So we started talking. He shot me some beats, and I was like, "Yo, these joints dope." And then we worked on a project. 2000, if I'm not mistaken, 2006, we did Data Frequency. Data Frequency was just me. I ain't pick up a mic in a minute. I was too busy living life. And I was just like, let's knock the dirt off. Let's knock the dust off and see what this joint about. So we started doing it. At that time, my ex-wife was my DJ. And I was like the only.
Now you was married to a Spinderella.
Yeah. So she was the DJ. And I think Return of the Prophet was the album that it solidified me and King as being partners in this hip hop and comrades in this hip hop thing. Returning the Prophet, we start now doing a tour. We was about to go to New Mexico, and my ex at the time and my wife at the time, she was like, "I think King C should be your DJ when you go out on this tour." And I was like, "Yeah, I think so too. That'd be kind of dope." You know.
Now, did he separate from, you know, the Wu-Tang affiliate? Was he still doing music with those guys?
Nah, he had stopped. That was like, when was the Swarm? In
1999.
Yeah, around in that mid era, he stopped doing that. He went underground. Like he stopped making beats. He just disassociated himself from that, like from everything. He just disassociated himself. And when me and him met, he was still trying to get back into it, but he was like not too sure about it. So when me and him met and did Data Frequency, we hit it off as like comrades, as friends, as brothers, and then we started stacking more joints. And then when we went on tour for the Return of the Prophet tour, he became the DJ and the producer. So we built a camaraderie, we built a friendship, we built like a brotherhood within that culture. So then after Return of the Prophet, it was a wrap after that. We just like, yo, let's put this out, let's do this, you know, and that's where we're at right now. And you know, he's been very monumental in the process of what you're hearing as a lyricist from me. He's been very, you know, monumental in that process.
I hear one thing I like about you, man. Like, you have your own style, man, but I still hear the growth sonically from the music and, you know, the substance. You know, one thing about you the artist that you are now, you're pretty much the same artist that you were back then as far as the human being, you know. And I say this to say this, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, or make sure, you know, let me know if I'm saying it the right way or whatever.
I got you. Right.
What I notice about you, like, what shape you as an artist to go down this particular subgenre, because you know the type of music that you do, it's not radio, it's not, you know, so it's a very special subgenre that dope artists. This is where the dope you want to hear lyricists. Come here. This is what they. This is what you want to hear the bars and great music and substance. This is it right here. But on the flip side of that, you may not get the big machine or the radio airplay and all of that. So what shaped you as an artist and made you want to decide to go down this route instead of going down this route?
Not following the crowd, as my grandma always taught. Don't follow the crowd. Be your own. If you're gonna get in trouble by yourself. Don't pull everybody else in your trouble.
Yeah,
you feel me?
Right.
So I think that part of it, so I guess, like, let me keep it real. It's like sometimes I want to go left, but I can't. I want to go with the crowd.
Right.
But when I start writing, it doesn't go with the crowd. I take it somewhere else.
Right.
And I think that's me just having blinders on and not listening to everything all the time, and not too busy wondering what you're doing on your end with your music and why you got 100,000 views and only got 200. You know what I'm saying? Because you can finagle all of that, but at the end of the day, I think I want to keep my integrity.
Yeah. Artists are doing that, by the way. Artists, like, people don't understand, man. When you have a machine behind you, a lot of stuff is inflated. A lot of stuff is inflated, and it's nothing new. They've been doing it for for years. This even going back to the 60s and the 50s, man, and all of that. But one thing I like about you, man, like, you stay true to who you are, man. So the reason I want to ask you this question, like, what does music mean to you? Like, what inspires you? What drives you to continue making music, man, at the age that you are now, man? Because, like I said, I'm gonna be honest, brother, like, you really stand out, man, from the whole look. Like, you stand out, but you nice, man. Like, and some artists, some artists, they fall off. Let's just be honest. Some artists fall off, man. But you are just getting better and better and better. Like, you are better now than you were 20 years ago. And you was dope 20 years ago. You was dope in 2004 when I first heard of you. But you're better now, and you make better music now than you did back then. So my question was, man, like, so really, like, I know I could go on a tangent.
No, I'm listening to you. I feel you.
So what inspires you, brother? Like, so what inspires you? What drives you, man, to continue to just get better, man?
You know what? That's a good question, because I've been asked that so many times, and I always give like the same answers, like the young people drive me. You know what I'm saying? And then when I think about it, it's a blank. I have a blank. My mind goes blank. Because there's so many things, and not one particular person or not one particular event. It can be something to trigger something that's just like, you gotta keep doing this. Like, why stop now? I've known friends who don't even rhyme no more, don't even make beats no more, because they're a certain age. They became a husband or a dad or a granddad, and they feel like, that's not me, man. It's in me. So the things that probably will spark a rhyme, like this interview could spark a rhyme, and it don't even have to be about this interview. It could just be, I had a great conversation and my mind will start turning.
I hope it does, man.
You know what I'm saying? Like, my mind started turning, and this conversation can influence me to write a rhyme. You know what I'm saying? So, having or I can I'll be in my own head at times, and I'll be like, man, I ain't doing this no more. I'm good. This is gonna be the last joint. I say that to myself, and then I'll meet somebody on the street, be like, yo, don't I follow you on Instagram? And I'm like, I don't know, like, aren't you Enoch? And I'm like, yeah. Oh, I follow you on Instagram. You do some dope work. I like your work. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm like, all right, well, I guess I got to continue on, because there is somebody paying attention when sometimes I don't think so.
Nah, man. We paying attention, man. Like, we listening, man. Like, don't let the numbers, man. Don't let the numbers fool you, man, to follow. That shit smoke and mirrors, man. And,
that's it.
That's all it is, man. But we know it's a popularity contest. But at the end of the day, artists like yourself is still here because you dope. Like, if you wasn't dope, you been out of here a long time ago, brother.
Right. You be out of here.
You've been out of here a long time ago, man. So what's your take on that, man? Like, with the age limit, this age limit thing in hip hop, man. Like, it seemed like the rock guys, man. Mick Jagger, he can be on stage till his damn in a walker. And these guys, Paul McCartney, they can be out there till they like 80, man. But hip hop, they getting rid of you at like 24. Like, just think of it. Rakim and Big Daddy Kane, if you really look at their run, it was so short, man. Like when like Wu-Tang and Nas came out, man, we got them out of here, man. That's so disrespectful, man.
So disrespectful.
And they were still making great music, man. Right. They were still making great music. Rakim dropped the 18th letter. Man, he wasn't even 30. I don't even think he was 28 years old. So with that, when I see an artist like yourself, man, it blows my mind because I'm like, man, it's no age limit on dopeness, man.
It's not. You can't put an age limit on it. Look. My bad. My phone was ringing. Jeez.
No, it's all good. I'm gonna edit. It's all good. Edit that. But yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if say for instance Chuck D.
Right. One of the greatest rap voices ever.
Look at KRS-One.
Yeah.
He's still touring. So I mean, we put an age limit on hip hop, but the other folks don't put an age limit on rock country.
Nah.
They don't. But we the only ones that put an age limit on it.
Why though? Why do we do that? Why do we do that though? Like, it's whack. I always say it as whack.
You know what? I think
we're all going to get older. Like, at the end of the day,
right.
You could be like this young hot rapper right now. You're going to get older, brother. Like, you not going to be 21 Savage or whatever 30 years. Like, you're going to get older. That's what happens with life if you're fortunate enough to live long.
Right. Because it started out, I mean, they already said hip hop wasn't gonna last long anyway. Like, this young people music that they said back in the day wasn't gonna last 20 years. It'll be out of here.
I'm not gonna lie.
Been around for almost 40-some years.
Hey, Enoch, I'm not gonna lie, man. I didn't think it was gonna be around this long, man. When I was a kid growing up here, man, like growing up here in DC, man, my first musical. And I'm not going to turn this an interview about me, but let me just say this real quick.
I got you.
Before I flip it right back to you.
Right.
But growing up here, man, like my early musical influences, man, was like Earth, Wind, and Fire and Frankie Beverly and Maze and Chuck Brown. Like, hip hop, I knew of it, but I wasn't the fan that I am now. I wasn't that back in like 88 and 89, man. I'm going to be honest, man. Like, I liked it, but to me, man, it was New Jack Swing. It was Gladys Knight. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was it. And I say that to say this, like, it came a long way. It came a long way, man. And
definitely.
I'm surprised. I'm at my age, man. I'm gonna be honest. I'm surprised, man, that it's the number one genre. And how does it feel, man, to be a part of that, man? Like, you're part of the number one genre, man, and you still make great music, brother.
Yeah, because I feel great to be a part of it, because you see the evolution of it and you see what people say hip hop is versus what it isn't.
No doubt.
These certain genres under, like trap, or rap, they still put it in that hip hop category, to sell it to the people in a sense. But just to see the layers of music and the layers of hip hop that we may think is whack or we may think is dope. Either way, somebody's loving it. Somebody's liking it, to keep it at that. And you hear it all in the commercials. You'll hear phrases. You'll see it on TV shows and things of that nature, loving hip hop, things of that nature. So they're keeping it in the forefront. But the reality of it behind scenes, they still want it to be capped to a certain amount of age that you should be stopping and go into something else.
Okay. Nah, that's real.
So, but I think it's, you know, I'm great to be. It's dope to be a part of it, man. I am not
Right.
fussy at all. It's dope to be a part of it.
No doubt, no doubt. Well, look, I want to move around a
Yeah.
little bit, man. I want to start talking about this music, man. That's why you here, man. So I went back, did
Okay.
went through the catalog, man, and we'll be on here for like 2 days, man. Talk about your catalog. So I wanna start with one of the project that really opened my eyes to what you do, man, and that is the Return of the Prophet, man, in 2014.
Mm-hmm.
Can you go back to that year, man, and tell me what led to you putting out that project, man? Because that one right there, that was the one for me, man. That's when I realized I was like, yo, he's a problem, man. This is different, man. This is different.
It's different, right? Right.
This is different,
So,
man.
so Return the Prophet, man, to make it plain. Before Return the Prophet, we put out like Sonic Gods
Yeah,
before
yeah.
that,
Oh, that was my yeah.
and
I was listening to that earlier today.
oh, I apologize. I apologize. Yeah, Return the Prophet, and then Sonic Gods came.
Yeah.
So Return of the Prophet was basically, the concept was, if I'm gonna put it plain and kind of transparency so everyone can understand. If you know that Jesus is the Christ and he's
Right.
coming back,
Mm-hmm.
what would his thought process be if he were returned now? If your concept and thought process is the Messiah and returning of the Messiah, what would
Mm.
the Messiah say now about what's going on? If you think that Muhammad is the prophet, all
Right.
be praised to him, as the Muslims would say,
Right.
if he comes back or when he returns,
Right.
what would he say about what's going on in 2014?
Okay.
So, as me being Enoch, seventh prophet, I put myself in that. If I'm the prophet and I return back here on this mothership with
Mm.
angels with me, how am I going to address certain things in a different manner?
Mm.
You know what I mean? So that was my concept, and writing it came pretty easily. But that was basically the concept of the project and what I wanted to get across. Whether it
Yeah.
was beats, beats and bars, lyrics and things of that nature.
Yeah, that was a dope one right there, man. What so you have an interesting name as it is, man. Can you tell the fans, man, how did you get that name, man? Enoch Seven Prophet, because I don't know, a lot of people, may not be religious or spiritual, whatever, man, but it's a very interesting name, man. And Enoch, is a very interesting character, in the scriptures, the Bible, whatever you want to call it. So can you touch on that a little bit, man? As far as like, how did you come about,
Right.
putting together, the name that you have?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Hold on a sec. I can barely hear that. You were like going in and out.
What I was saying was,
Okay, there you go.
oh yeah, no, what I was basically saying, like, how did you come up with the name, Enoch the
So,
Seventh Prophet?
the name was found me because I was on my way to Augusta. I was on my way to South Carolina. I had to do a show. I was on a Greyhound. I had to do a show in South Carolina. Got
Okay.
off the Greyhound bus. Met my man Freedom Black there, and he was like, "Yo." At this time, I was going through my phase. Like I was growing my hair out, beard, everything. So he
Yeah.
was like, "Yo, you look like a Dafa." And I was like, "Yo, who's a Dafa?" He was like, "Are you reading the holy tablets? Holy tablets of scriptures from the Nubian nation, Dr. Malachi Z. York, and things of that
Yeah.
nature?"
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, I'm still reading it." He was like, "Well, when you get to the chapter called a Dafa, I think it's called a Dafa song. When you
Yeah.
get to the story of a Dafa, I'm sorry, a Dafa song was a song I wrote. When you get to the story of a Dafa, then we'll talk." So when I got to the story of a Dafa, I was like, "Oh, this is Enoch.
Mm.
Enoch is the one who walked with God. We know that." Enoch comes in he comes as Iris, as in the Muslim holy scriptures. And he
Right.
comes as Adafa. He comes as Metatron, which the Transformers got Megatron from.
Megatron.
Who
Right.
is
Right.
Adafa? Who is the voice of God? Yeah, who is the voice of God? So I was just like, yo, Enoch walked with God
Walk with
without
me.
dying. So I don't think I
Yeah.
have to die. Yeah, I don't think I have to die. I walk with God daily. So let's do that. All right. So
Right.
seventh came from my last name. And if you take the T out of my last name, you have seven son. So being
What's
the
your last
seventh,
name?
son. My last name is Stevenson. So if you take out the T, it'll be 7 son.
Oh, gotcha. Right.
So we all are prophets. Yeah. So we all are prophets and prophetess, but we all are prophets because hip hop is a prophetic language. Because we speak things into existence and that don't happen sometimes.
Right.
All the time it happens.
Yeah.
So if you're talking about death, if you're talking about death always in your rhyme, it's bound to come to you. It's bound to come to you.
Look at Tupac.
So I was like, yo, I'm rocking with Enoch 7 Prophet. Yeah. So I'm rocking with Enoch 7 Prophet. So that's how it stuck like that. You know, first it was like King Enoch, and I was like, King Enoch sounds corny. I don't like that. Let's go with just Enoch itself, and then everybody was calling their dogs Enoch, or it was like weird people. It was just crazy. So Enoch 7 Prophet was stuck.
Hey, so look, so do you think with that name, man, do you ever feel like that kind of holds you back, or some people don't get that as far as like even within the independent underground, because a lot of people don't know this, man, but you even have separation within this independent faction of hip hop. So
right.
Do you feel like, and I'm only asking a question, you know,
definitely.
I'm just asking a question, but do you ever feel like that could be like a stumbling block from some people as far as getting to, you know, because when you get to talking about things like of the spiritual nature, certain people, they kind of, it's a disconnect with them. So how do you feel about that?
You know, I never felt, because it's like a name that came to me and I accepted the challenge of that name and what it bestows and what it holds. But I also knew that from a conversation I had with my friend Eric, he listened to all the music that you've been listening to prior to my new stuff. And he was like, yo, E, he was like, man, your shit, E, your stuff is dope.
Right.
Your stuff is dope, E.
Right.
But I let the young boys listen to it at work, and it was like, yo, you can flow, but they don't know what you're talking about. So if you cannot he said, don't dumb it down. I'm not telling you to do that, but if you can just bring it down just a little bit, for those people to grasp onto it, you good. So when he gave me that information, I took it in and started writing a little differently. So if Enoch 7 Prophet is something that may hinder someone from listening to the music, it's brothers like yourself, it's brothers like DC, you know, it's brothers like who introduced the music bit by bit, but when they click onto it, I'm not preaching to you. I'm just keeping it hip hop.
You took the words right out of my mouth, brother, and that's the thing. Let me just say this real quick, and I don't want anybody to misconstrue what I'm asking this brother as I don't want it to come off as like you some beating us down with, you know, preaching. When you listen to the brother's music, it doesn't sound like that at all. It's very natural. It's very, you have this very this very distinct method that you use when you the way that you deliver your you know what you do. So I don't want people to ever think like, you know, I don't want, like, whoever watches the interview, please don't think that, because if you listen to the brother's music, it ain't preachy at all. It's a lot of jewels drop. It's a lot of jewels drop. It's a lot of messages, but the way that you deliver it, I feel like from all age ranges, man, they can get it.
Yeah, definitely. And I, like, we did the study, me and King did the study, and it's basically our support base and those who listen to the music, buy the product and things of that nature is from 18 to 46.
Yeah.
After 46, that's where it stops at. There's nothing, and after the 46, it's like 2 to 3% of people who buy the product, listen to the music, listen to the videos. But those 18 to 46 years old, that's what we focus on.
That's my demographic. Matter of fact, now my demographic is probably a little smaller than that. Mine's is 25 to 46. Yeah, I can't you doing something right, because I can't reach the 18-year-olds, man. Like, but so I'm still working on that. I'm still working, like, reaching them is man, for you to do what you do and to reach them, man, that's amazing, bro. That's amazing within itself, man. But it's a testament to you, to how dope you are as an artist, man. And it's a testament to how much your music resonates people once they hear it. Once they hear it, it clicks. And that's what it took for me, man. Like seeing you on different people's projects. But once I got the opportunity to sit down, you know, in the midst of all the music that I listen, because I'm one of the people, man. I'm still listening to Innovision from Stevie Wonder. I'm still listening from Marvin Gaye.
Ooh,
Yeah, I'm listening to you know, old hip hop albums, man, Ultra Magnetic MC's albums. So it's
yeah,
so much, man. I'm trying to rotate all of this, man. So it's no, if it's, please don't get offended when I'm like, yo, I'm late to, you know, it just is what it is, man. But I'm glad we here, man. I'm glad I'm here. So you got this one line where you say, you know, don't just rap, just say something, man. So tell me about that, man. Like talk about that a little bit, because that line, when I thought about that, man, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna let you go ahead. You know what? Break that down to me, man. Like break that down.
So that was written in the format of, you hear a lot. People be rapping, whether they're talking to you,
Yeah.
or it's you know what I'm saying, and not saying nothing. It's no substance behind it. So when I was saying don't just rap, say something, I've been saying something since 80 something. Most of y'all are still fronting.
Most of y'all still
So
fronting.
it's just like whether we're in a conversation, you still fronting on something.
Right.
So don't just rap, just say something. So don't just write a rhyme. Like I said in the beginning, I don't write frivolous rhymes. It just doesn't make any sense to me. So if you're gonna rap, say something in the rhyme. Drop a gem, drop a jewel, do something that the average listener can pull from. Maybe they don't like the song, but they pull from they pull something out from it. Like be a good friend to your homie who's locked up. Oh, okay, you're gonna pull that out, even though he's talking about violence around it. There's a jewel. Just say something. Don't just rap, just say something that people can grasp, man.
Right.
Because people, you have a platform, dude, or madam, you got a platform, and people are listening to you whether you know it or not. So use your platform wisely and get a message across. It can be subliminal, it can be direct, it can be, dropping jewels, but just say something when you write. Just say something. That's all I was saying in that rhyme.
Nah, I appreciate that. Like I said, man, I appreciate you breaking that down. You could have easily just gave me a very short answer, man, but that, I'm glad you broke that down, because that one bar, man, it means a lot, man, and it really resonated with me. Not just that bar, but that particular song, man, because I feel the same way that you feel, as far as like, brothers, you got a platform, man, so use it. Like you try to, like I'm just gonna piggyback off what you just said, man. Just use your platform wisely, man. So I remember on this one song, man, you got this one of my songs. I think this is, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's off the Return of the Prophet, man. But you had my boy Do Sigapone on the Spiritual Warfare, man.
Yeah.
That's another DC connection, man. So tell me about that, man. Tell me about putting together that song, and tell me about you meeting my boy Do, man.
Yeah, man. Big up to Dosey, man, because Do used to come to True School. Do is an original True School, part of the family, raised in that culture of True School. When he first came to True School, he came with Uptown XO, because XO was part of the True School family.
Yeah,
that's his cousin. So XO brought him through, and I was hosting an open mic, so I would throw out words, or I thought, hey, rhyme with something that starts with R. You know what I'm saying? If you mess up, just keep going. It don't matter. Ain't nobody judging you here. So Do got the mic. He tells this story too. So Do got the mic and he fumbled the mic. Boom. And he was rhyming now, but he dropped the mic.
Oh, he literally fumbled the
mic. He literally dropped the mic.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, I said, man, pick that shit up, man. I said, pick it up. Don't worry about it. Just keep going.
Keep going. Yeah.
And he picked it up. He kept going with the words I was throwing at him. So, him and his beautiful wife, you know what I'm saying? It became a family. So if I had shows going on, I called him up and vice versa. So the song I had in mind was Spiritual Warfare. And I knew he would be perfect on it. But he was living in Texas at the time. And I was like, I need to shoot a video for this, but I want you on this record. I sent him the record. He sent it back. I was like, yo, this joint is dope. Now I know what I heard what you're saying. Now let me just marry what you're saying to what I gotta say to it.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
perfect. It's like,
yeah,
well, I know that I know that one point in time Chuck D was telling us every time you do a song, make a video for it. Like, I don't care what it is. So I called
yeah,
Doe. I was like, yo, I want to shoot a video for spiritual warfare. And this is the vibration that we want. I said, you could shoot it over there
yeah,
and just send me the raw footage. And then we
yeah.
can edit it over here. And that's what we did. And
That's my
his wife
Woo!
shot that. He did his part. We
Yeah,
shot it over. And I was just like, yo,
that's my
yeah, we can
that's
rock
my
with this
joint
one.
right
Yeah,
there,
we
man.
killed
I
that joint.
love that one right there, man. That's my
Yeah.
like I could go. I mean, I could go on about how many dope joints that you got, but that one right there, man, because that's another one of them underrated artists from the city, man. Like Doe is a beast.
He's
I
a
be trying
beast.
to
He
tell people,
goes.
man, Doe is cold, man. Like he is a rapping mofo, man.
Yeah, he goes in, man. Yeah,
Yeah. So
he
to
can
sit
rap.
here,
Yeah,
hear
he can
y'all on
rap.
the track, man, and to have a video, man, like that's the city right there, man. Like I love how you guys put that together, man. Like
Yeah,
that was
and
beautiful.
if you can tell, his was shot in the daytime. I shot mine at night to give it
That's
a
true.
polarity.
I didn't even realize that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was dope,
Give it a
man. Shout out
polarity, like
Doe, man. Yeah,
yeah. Shout out to Doe, man.
shout out
Appreciate
Doe,
that, brother,
man.
man.
Yeah, I hope y'all got something coming in the future, man. He's that's a good dude, man. So look, go fast forward, man. We talk about this catalog, man. So 2018, man, you dropped Sonic Sonic Gods, man. You got the Sonic Gods hoodie on, man. I'm gonna need one of those too, man. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, man, this is like only got one of these things, man.
Hey
It's
man, we
probably
about
too
the same
small for you,
size,
brother.
man. We probably about the same size,
You
bro.
think so? All right, we
What's
probably
that, a
are. We
large?
probably are. But yeah,
That's probably a large.
Nah, this is. I think this is a medium. I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I could probably rock that.
But we can work something out though.
We'll talk on
We work something out.
camera.
Yeah.
But no, so
Definitely.
2018, man, you drop another dope project, man. You got the hoodie on representing that Sonic Gods, man. Man, that one right there, that's another one, man. What was the inspiration behind that project? Because that one, is that the one that got lap on the LAP and weight on it?
Yeah.
Those
Absolutely.
two, man, that LAP, man, that's my baby right there, man. That's my joint right there. You got business on
Big
that,
up
man.
to
Talk about that project a little bit, man.
that project was out of transparency. I was going through a separation and divorce when I was writing and recording that.
Okay.
So that was more me coming out of that was more me showing my transparency and being vulnerable within certain like weight, like carry your own like weight was basically real life situation. I did write that couple of those first bars and lines. I
Right.
did write that in my head, pulling my uncle out of the casket, carrying up the steps into the church. That right there, I wrote that the day of in my head when I was helping being the pallbearer for my uncle, right?
Wow.
But it just spiraled. It's a spiral effect because
I remember that
everything.
you mentioned that in the song, by the way. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I
Yeah,
remember
yeah, it's all good.
hearing that.
Yeah, so I kind of married what was going on in my life at the time with the transition of my uncle. So it had to be, I had to carry my own weight. I had to actually admit that I did things wrong and I had to carry my own weight. And that's where that song came about. So
It's like
Sonic Gods was basic. It's like a what?
no, I was about to. It's kind of like a double entendre in a sense.
In a sense. Yeah. Because Sonic Gods is Sonic Gods is a the next level from Return of the Prophet. So if the Return of the Prophet came and saw what he saw and wrote what he wrote, then the next move he had to be sonically a god. Now you have to move sonically. So that's what Sonic Gods came into effect because I was getting all type of sonics from other producers, King C, DJ Priority, and all these particular other artists or producers. So now I'm a Sonic God returning back. So now I gotta be transparent within my Godism, if you would allow. So yeah, so that all that was based around my feelings and what I was experiencing, and especially lack. You know, like if me and you had text conversations and I was going through personally, then weight makes sense. Lack makes a lot of sense. You know what I mean? Certain songs and bars and lines that I was saying makes a lot of sense. But yeah, I thought Sonic Gods was my coming out of my of showing my transparency. That's what I
can definitely see that, man. I can definitely see that as I like I said, as I went back and listened to your entire catalog, man. I could definitely I see where you're coming from. I see where you're getting with that, man. Like it makes much more sense having you like break it down, you know what I'm saying? But listening to the music, man, like it's clear. Like I can see the direction of in the vision from album to album, man. And so how important, man, with that said, man, how important you think like transparency is in what you do or just in music in general?
I think it's good because it allows your listener to know you a little bit, not basically read the tabloids or blogs, or it allows the listener to be like, oh, that's how that went down. Oh, okay. And it allows the listener to put the pieces to the puzzle together, what they may have heard before, or they may have saw you post something on your Instagram or your Facebook, and they're like, oh, if they're doing that type of work, they're like, oh, he did get a divorce. Oh, oh, snap, wait, oh man, okay, it kind of makes sense.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think transparency is important. If you want to do that, then do it, because it allows your listener to get to know you just a little bit more. You might not want to put out all your business, but it allows transparency to happen, and those can feel you.
And that's the thing, man. And that's why I feel like you're one of those special artists, man, because you have the life experience, man, and you have the the ability, man, to be able to communicate and convey those life experiences from these different many points of references to all ages, man. Like I don't think you have to be a certain age to identify with. You don't have to be you don't have to be your age to identify with your music. You know what I'm saying? It's everybody can they get it. So with that being said, like I want to say this to you, brother. This is one of the things I've been really want to say to you. When I think of what you do, it really stands out to me because I feel like you make what's your take on this? Like I feel like you make adult hip hop. Is that a negative term? Like is that offensive when I say like adult hip hop? Because I personally feel like there should be there should be someone pushing that, because we're pushing all this other negativity to the youth and all this other nonsense. So why can't we push positivity? Why can't we push things that's conducive to our community? Why can't we? Where's the machine? There should be a machine behind that, because what you do is what people of my age, this is what we want to hear. This is what we want to hear. We don't want to hear about, like, I don't mind the little babies and all that. There's a time and place for that. There's a time for Juicy J and all those guys. No disrespect. It's cool. That's cool. But what I'm saying is I'm 40 years old. So I'm not in the club 24/7. I'm living life. I'm raising children. I'm in the world. So like, what is your, is that offensive by me saying that? Because you have to be you're very knowledgeable of what's your surroundings. So what I mean, how do you take that, like as far as what you do?
I mean,
maybe I'm just
say,
I'm bugged out.
Say it again.
I say maybe I'm tripping. Like I see it. They're like, because like to me, man, artists like you, man, I hold guys like you close, man. Like, because this is the type of shit that I need in my life. Like I need more of this in my life than I need a WAP or shake that ass or whatever. Like that's cool. I like that's cool too.
Right,
But
right.
I'm
That's
just saying,
cool.
like
Right,
that's
right,
not
right.
life. That's a fantasy. That's not every day. Like my every life for people, my peers is we have jobs, we have careers, we have husbands and wives and children and putting out, so it's life, man. And we enjoying ourselves too. It ain't. I'm not saying that your shit is, and everything is just strict. It's preachy and nothing like that. Is you know what I'm saying? But it's very
Right.
adult oriented. So I'm gonna just leave it at that.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I don't think what you said is wrong. You know what I'm saying? If I create dope hip hop, then it is what it is. You know, you can't. If it's dope, you have to say it's dope. If it's whack, you have to say why is it whack, but what could be
Right.
doper about it?
Right.
In my opinion,
Right.
you know what I'm saying. So when I turn out to do a show or write a rhyme,
Right.
I'm writing in the essence of what the beat is telling me, what I want to remember. If you're 40 years old and I'm talking about Marion Barry and the Reagan era, then that's going to spark a time that, oh man, I remember going down to Georgetown at the Prince and Princesses and getting them. So
I remember you
I think
mentioned
my
that.
job, yeah, I think my job is to basically kind of keep that in the forefront. You know, the
Right. Right.
culture of it. You know what I'm saying? I can rock with the lots. I can rock with the, you know what I'm saying, the young babies and, you know, little babies and all these, you know what I'm saying, all these other artists,
Right.
because a song that you may not like can always spark a song that you want to write that's
Mm.
dope.
That's what's up. Yeah, nah, that's facts right there, man. That's facts.
You know what I'm
and I,
saying?
and I'm not knocking nobody, man. You do what you do, but artists go make the type of music. However, they
Yeah,
gonna make
definitely.
whatever they gonna make, man. At the end of the day, but I just,
Like if somebody, like if somebody called me, like if somebody called me tomorrow and be like, "Yo, Enoch, we stumbled on your music and we thought, you know, would you do a song with Young Baby or would you do a song with Young Thug?"
why not?
Yeah, I'm on that
Why
because
not? Yeah.
Young Thug is not going to change. He's not going to change how I'm gonna come on the track.
Right,
I
right.
know that this is. I say this. I know that if a Premier calls me, or if a Eric Sermon call me, or if Young Thug's management call me, or whatever, and they're
Yeah.
like, "Yo, we want you on this track," I know for me, whatever I write got to be fire because this may be the last time I get this opportunity, and it
Yeah,
gotta be fire.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's still gonna be me, but it gotta
Right,
be, you know,
right.
it got to be bars
But
because
they're gonna be calling you because they know this is
this
what
is
you
like
do.
national exposure.
Right, right. And I
Right,
feel like they will be
right.
calling because
So
they're not gonna try to change that. Like they see what you do. So I want to bring this element over here.
right, right.
So
And that goes, like I was saying, that kind of goes on the artist for me to not change who I am just because I got a premiere beat. Or
right,
I'm not gonna trying to sound like Guru from Gangstar on a premiere beat. You know what I'm saying? Or trying to sound like, you know, anybody else
right.
because a mainstream artist that we love and admire want to be on a record with me. So
No,
I
that's real.
just, yeah,
That's real.
man.
No, that's real, man. So look, you dropped the right after that, man. You dropped a minute of your time, man, with the brother DJ DJ
King
C,
C.
King C, man, and that was a dope project. Had one of my favorite songs that you ever wrote, that Faith Evans. Before we move on, because I talk about that Faith Evans song, man. That's another one, man. I'm sorry, man. I gotta some of these particular songs, man. I need more background to them, man. Like
Right, right. I feel
that's
you.
hold on, let me just say this. Like my platform, man, like I get into these catalogs, man. So I'm gonna be talking about these songs, man, that you probably haven't thought of in a while, man. But that one, I was listening to that like all last week, man. So I say, man, if I got an opportunity to talk to him, I'm gonna ask him about that song, and that's my shit right there,
Man, I appreciate that, brother, man. I definitely appreciate you. You
man.
know, it's a warming spirit to know that it warms my spirit to know that you took the time to do that. Because I may get interviewed a lot and people don't take the time to to listen. They just asked to, you know what I'm saying? That's no slight to them, but you took the time to go into that depth of it. So Faith Evans, that beat was sent over to me. King C sent the beat over. I don't think that beat was kind of no. That beat was fully done, but he sent it over, and I'm like, yo, this joint dope. I say, what's the because he always sends me beats without titles, like without names sometimes, or he'll name it something so he can remember what it is.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, what's the joint called? He was like, he said it's called Faith Evans. I was like, let's leave it like that. He's like, what you mean? I said, let's just leave it like that because it can be because I'm already thinking. Promotion wise, I'm already thinking like when I write this song, I'm gonna tag Faith Evans in it when it's done. I didn't even write the rhyme yet. I was already thinking that.
You should have tagged.
I didn't write the rhyme yet. So
Chucky Thompson too, man.
yeah. So when I get off with you, that's
too. I'm sorry,
but
man.
So he sent it over, and I was like. The joint was like, don't want to lose you. I was just like, I don't want to go where people think I'm going to go with this. Because when you hear it, when I first heard it, I was like, people think I'm going to talk about a female.
Right.
I want to go left. I want to go left with it. So I started writing, had a couple of lines that was kind of whack, and I kind of scratched it, went to something else. And I think I was watching TV or I was going down a rabbit hole of like YouTube or whatever. And I was like, oh, wait, I haven't reached my peak yet.
Right.
So you sucker MCs better respect. Leave your ego at the door with the concierge. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to go left with it.
Yeah.
I'm going to go left with it because people thought I was going to go right with it. And I was just like, I'm just going to talk about how I feel right now because I haven't reached my peak yet. Right. So you sucker MCs, y'all gotta respect me right now because I haven't reached my peak yet, and I'm still growing. So I was like, we're gonna name it Faith Evans, son, and we're gonna keep it like that.
Bro. That's amazing. Listen what you just said, man. You put out all these dope projects all these years, man, rapping the way that you rapping, like, and you still feel like you haven't reached your peak, man. I'm like, yo, like what? That's amazing, man, because I don't think you realize, man, like, yo, your catalog is crazy, man. You got a dope catalog, brother.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. And some of those albums, that you mentioned, sometimes I go back and listen to it to see what I said so I don't repeat myself over and over again, or to see how I said it so I can write it differently. And I was just like, everything up until Sonic Gods, I made the turn. Then when we dropped Bolo's rap, I was like, this is it. We're right here. And then Faith Evans, everyone loves Faith Evans. They love Bolo's rap. They love Say, but everyone loves Faith Evans because of how it's. That's how Faith Evans came about. That's how. Okay. And then when it was done, and we got the project back. I was like, Faith Evans, okay, now I can tag her in it. Okay, let me see what's going on with that because now everyone's home, so everyone's on their phone. This is the perfect time. So I found Faith Evans' picture, her with Biggie on the front.
Okay.
She had a Gucci joint on, Biggie on the front. She had a hat on, and I was like, yo, this is a perfect photo. So let me take this photo and edit out Biggie and put my face there, and then edit this part out and just have my face on her hoodie.
Yeah, I remember that. That was dope.
Yeah, man.
That was genius right there, man.
Yeah, man. So I tagged her fan page in it, and then the next day her fan page reposted it, and I was like, this ain't Faith Evans. Okay, let me find Faith Evans real, and I tagged Faith Evans in it, and then a couple of days later, or a week later, she liked it, and I was like, "Ooh,
there you go.
All right, cool. There you go. Now I just got to tag Chucky Thompson in it, and we will see where we at."
Yeah, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. That's all you need, man. That's now you got that stamp of approval, man. You got that stamp of approval.
Okay. And we just changed the name. So he won't get flagged. No, I spelled it differently. With the S, I just used a Z. And I was just like, all right, cool. Let's see what happens.
Okay. So look, what's so overall, man? Like, what's your take on hip hop today, man? Like when you look, being a brother, man, has seen the evolution, man. Like, what are some of the things that that you can do without, man? Some of the things that you like about it, and some of the things that you could, that you probably would like to see change.
I think I would like to see change is the violence that's portrayed in it. Whether you're using water guns, whether you're using real guns or
Right.
whatever have you, it has to be a message in there somewhere.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And if the message can change slightly for that generation or for whatever generation it is, if that message can change slightly, but you can still be you and talk about living in the hood and things of that
Right. Right.
nature,
Right.
but understanding this little youngins who's watching this, you know what I'm
Mm.
saying? So I think just the violence part of it, can kind of like subside just a little bit. You can't run away from the sex and violence because sex
Right.
sells, violence sells.
Yeah.
Record companies know that. So the youngest who not even have a record label was like, oh, shorty, little so and so put that out. That's where they vibe at. That's what we gonna put out. But you not little so and so. That can kind of come back on you at the end of the day. So I mean,
You think these record
that's
labels?
about it though. Everything else I can rock with. I can do the WAP. I can do, you know what I'm saying? I can do all the little crazy
I like
joints
that
because
song.
yeah, like for instance, I like listening to Mega Stallion's new record. Like the new
Yeah.
album is dope. Like
Yeah.
and then it allows me to free my mind and then come
Right.
back to the table and write something, you know what I'm saying, that's
Yeah.
not on
Yeah.
that level or not on that talking like that, but it just
Right.
allows
Right.
me to write something new. So
You got to have the yin
I
and the
mean,
yang, man. It's to see one thing about hip hop, man, and the eras that we're from. Oh man, I hate to talk like this, but I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be transparent, like yourself, man. We can remember there was a time, man, where both sides, it was a balance. For every NWA above the law, you had Tribe Called Quest, and you had the Far Side, and it just seemed like all of them, those were mainstream artists. Like Tribe Called Quest it was going platinum every album, but they didn't rap about doing this and doing that, and so it just, when you think of where hip hop is today, man, do you think like these record labels are kind of pushing some of these agendas on these kids, man, as far as like with the excessive violence, man, because it's just not, we don't have I just don't see the balance, man. I don't see the balance like we used to have back in the day, man. You know.
well, it's crazy because once again, when we were on tour with Karis One, like a few years back, like maybe 10, 15 years ago, 10, 12
Wow.
years ago, whatever have you. He was doing a lecture. He was doing a lecture. We were in Chicago, Champaign, Illinois. He was doing a lecture. And he said, after Public Enemy, Poor Righteous Teachers, himself, NWA, they burnt the blueprint. They burnt the blueprint for that type of music that had the balance and started promoting more of the violence. That's why he
Yeah.
made the album Sex and Violence,
Sex
because
and violence.
both of
Yeah.
them pair with each other. So yeah, that both of them pair with each other. So I said all that because there should be a balance, because
Right.
that's how life. You have death and you have life, and then whatever you're doing in between, you still having that balance.
Mm-hmm.
And I think sometimes we as how can I put this? We as listeners
Right.
promote that more than the radio and more than the record company, because it's feeding another side of us that we're like, yeah, this is what it's about. Forget all this knowledge right here. Let me see some shooting
Mm.
and ass
Right.
shaking. Let me see this on my timeline. Let me like this and not like bridging, you know what I'm saying, the Generation Podcast, because let me like something else and share that, because let me share someone getting beat up at the mall. Let me share that instead of sharing someone who just had a baby, or someone who just got a new job or starting their own business. You know what I'm saying? So it's disheartening at times, but for me, I kind of listen. I kind of listen to everything, man. I don't
Right.
really. Sometimes it may be whack, but I'm like, I can
Yeah.
probably find something that's worth listening to in here and be like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm not gonna waste my 2 minutes on that video no more.
Right. Right. So outside of hip hop, what do you like to listen
You
to?
know, outside of hip hop, I'm listening to like it could be random, man. It's like random. I listen to jazz, R&B, soul. I listen to like chakra music. Basically, it's just like the vibratorial music that I just
Right.
let it
Right.
play with nice little tones involved. Um, I listen to gospel music. I'll outside of hip hop because I was raised in the church, so I was listening to more of like gospel music.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like your Clark
Right.
sisters, your Truth sisters,
Shirley
your
Caesar.
Reverend James Cleveland, Shirley Caesar. You know
Woo!
what I mean? I was, you
You
know what I'm
said
saying?
James Cleveland,
Dom
man.
E.
You
Key.
taking it
Like I
back,
was listening
man.
to that.
Yeah. Yo, James Cleveland used to be
That's what I
huge in
was. That's what
DC.
I was bumping.
Yeah, he was huge here, man. I actually thought he was from DC. He was like he was so big in the gospel community in this area, man. I thought he was actually from here, you know. But nah,
Yeah,
it's
man.
interesting,
So
man.
I mean,
Go ahead.
outside of that, that's what I listen to. I mean, even when I write, even when I start to write, I don't listen to no hip hop because I don't want my judgment cloudy. So I don't
Mm,
listen to no hip hop when I'm writing. I listen to that particular genres of music that I mentioned to you.
okay. That's what's up, man. So look, let's talk about the new project, man. Let's talk about the new project, man. You just released a new
Word.
project, man. Reagan era, man. Let's talk about it, man. Now this one, another dope one, man. What's the inspiration, man? I gotta ask you, man. And this one right here, this one right here, this is special right here for me. This one is special, brother.
Appreciate it,
Thank you for
man.
this, man. You really told our story, man. You really told, just your story, our story, man. This is special, man. Talk about it, brother. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, man. So a minute of your time was dropped in March.
Yeah.
7 months later, we released Reagan era. Reagan era was already in the making last year.
Ah,
So
okay.
I was so Reagan era was already in the making 20 the middle part of summer 2019, somewhere around there.
Okay.
And then a lot of things happened with some of the beats and things of that nature. So I was already softly promoting for it, and people
Right.
were like, "Yo, we gonna drop Reagan? We gonna drop Reagan era? What's up with Reagan era?" I was like, "I don't know," because I started to write for a minute of your time.
Right.
So it was like, all right. So we finally got it together. King C and I, we kind of sat down. King C was sending me beats as well, different things in that nature. I was also in 2019 getting people to call in to this phone number so you could tell me about your story of
Okay.
living in the Reagan era. So the whole concept at first was
Oh,
using your voice message
I missed that, man. I
as
would
a
have called
concept.
in.
Yeah, so that was like just the so I could feel the pulse of the city where people were at that time of Reagan. So when people were calling in, leaving voice messages, I'll listen to the voice message and I'm like, I do remember that. Oh
Yeah,
shit. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
Now
yeah.
how can I make this about me because I'm a Reagan baby.
That's genius. I just gotta say that. That's genius,
So I was
brother.
like, all right, cool. I was like, all
Yeah.
right, King. Appreciate it, man. So I was like, all right, King. It's definitely gonna be called Reagan era, and
Okay.
um, and everything is going to be about it. It's going to be basically like a bio of my life, starting with Grandma's theme, ending it off with Grandma's theme sunrise, and then ending it off with Grandma's theme sunset. So all of the production that King C put in is more
Right.
of it's like a documentary feel. It's like a
Yeah.
documentary feel. It's like a short film type of
Right.
vibe,
Right. Right.
you
Right.
know. So that was the process of going, us going through making Reagan era and understanding who Reagan was and what he did and how some black people loved him, some black people hated him. But I wasn't going to focus on all that. I wanted to go left because what people thought I was going to talk about was
the crack, the drug,
the crack, the drug, the guns, the violence. And I said, no.
I was surprised. I was surprised myself.
I said, I just pre-warned y'all in Bolo's rap. When I said crack, Reagan era, Marion Barry, I already set you up for Reagan era.
Okay,
so when we dropped Reagan era, and the first single was Reagan era, let's go. And that was our thought process with it.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
I love that Pops theme, man. That's another one of those songs that's very, very personal, man. You know, like that take me back, man, to like just knowing, like, I would like the way how you talk about like your father, even though you wasn't there when he was living like this, but you can envision that, man. You can just what is the connection and what led you to writing that song, man? Like how did that song come about, man? And that connection, and you seeing things through his eyes, and just, you know, how did that come all about on that Pops thing, man?
Well, the Pops theme is a true story. The Pops theme, some of that was captured from me reading his obituary, and me being at the funeral, you know. And when writing that, I was walking up and down Georgetown. I was in Georgetown. I was walking up and down Georgetown. I was like, it was cold too. I was like, it feel like coke out here. It feel like, you know what I'm saying? It had that feel to it. You know what I'm saying? If you went from DC, you go down Georgetown, and you know about Georgetown,
exactly.
Like, and it's cold. You're like, yo, this feels like something about to pop off. So when I wrote it, I wanted to honor my father in that realm. I wanted, because I was still always searching to find out who he was, what type of guy he was, and things of that nature. So when I did more of my family research and history, I come to find out that, when he was born, he always reminded me of Marvin Gaye. So that was like another connection there. He was a musician. So it was like when I wrote it, when I was like 1947, February 14th, age of Aquarius, Theodore and Adame, was like, that was his that was his mom and dad. He was born and raised in North Carolina. Then he moved to DC with his mom.
Right.
Uptown, you know what I'm saying? Then he met my mom in the process of all of that happening. You know what I mean? And then when I was saying, like, when I was born, my pops wasn't there. He actually was not there, G.
Yeah.
He wasn't there. He wasn't there to sign the birth certificate. My birth certificate only has my mom's name on it at the age of 18. So now the process of that turns differently, because all this right here is facts.
Right.
From my mom giving birth to me and my dad wasn't there. The rest is like trying to figure out, where was he? He was probably drunk somewhere, laying in the bed in his underwear, chilling with some brown skin shorty, but short.
That I like that. I know that ain't cool, but I'm just saying, like, that was dope how you put that together, man. I never heard an artist, man, be that personal talking about his father, even though you made it sound cool, but it wasn't cool. it
wasn't cool because my dad was an alcoholic.
Yeah. And I don't want to say cool. I don't want to say like I don't want to say that, but it was colorful. It was very colorful the way you painted that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because it's like, you my pops, I'm still gonna respect you in this rhyme. You know what I mean? I don't want to disrespect you because you gave me life. Like, my mom never talked bad about my dad at all. Never.
Right. Yeah.
If he was there, if he wasn't there, she never talked bad about him. So my respect for my father is like right here. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's really high. So I was like, well, you were probably drunk. So the way I said it in the rhyme was a question format. He's probably drunk somewhere, laying in the bed in his underwear, chilling with a brown skin shorty with short hair after a long. So he's like, he probably got some. He probably, you know what I mean? He probably took a shorty home with him.
Yeah, yeah. We talk 1972, 70 something, early 70s. They was
Yeah,
wilding back then.
73.
Yeah,
73, he was
yeah,
wilding. So,
yeah,
I can't
yeah,
blame him. He was a
yeah.
little older than my mom. I think he was like 11 years older than my mom. But he was a drug dealer. He did a
Right.
lot of street stuff. So it was just like,
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
gonna glorify that. I'm just
Mhm.
gonna stick to the subject right here because it's
Right,
about
right.
pops.
Okay,
And
okay.
me meeting my sister for the first time when I said I'm sitting across the limo from her.
Yeah,
That's
I
me
forgot about
meeting
that.
my sister
Yeah,
for the
yeah,
first time.
yeah, yeah.
And then my grandma, who was my dad's mom, was in the hearse with us, and she did tell me, "This is your sister. I don't know nothing about nobody else.
Right.
This is your sister."
Mm.
And as a little child, I'm looking in the back the limo looking for my mom and my grandma, who's in
Right.
a Dukes of Hazzard car.
I
My
remember that
grandma had
line.
a Dukes of Hazzard car. G.
Oh, man, that's another one of those lines that really like resonated with me because, man, Dukes of Hazzard was everything as a kid.
It was everything. It was
Everything.
everything. I used to sit and
Yeah.
watch that joint all the time.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So you said that's your favorite. I've heard a mixture of people say male and female. Like Pop's theme is my favorite. I really love that song.
Yeah.
And
That's
I'm
my
like,
favorite joint on there.
word.
That
Like
is
you
720.
gravitated toward it for a
Yeah.
reason. Word. I appreciate it.
Yeah. That is
And
720.
720, yeah, 720 is another one. Yeah,
That's my shit right there. You know what I'm saying? So overall, man,
yeah, man.
what's the
720 is another one. That's crazy.
overall, man,
That's the next
what's
single.
yeah, and the single, man, like the video and everything. Where was that shot at? Because I know them.
Which
Where,
one for Reagan era?
yeah, yeah, the lead off single.
Oh, Reagan. Okay, Reagan era is the lead off single. The
Yeah,
video was shot. So yeah, so we shot the video. Of course, we shot the video in Georgetown.
yeah,
Then we brought it to U Street and we brought it to the front of the Howard Theater. And we just made it feel DC because we
yeah.
had to.
I love
You
that,
know what I
man.
mean? So
That's
it's
us
just
right there,
and the
man.
crazy.
I'm sorry. I love it, man. Like, man, that represent that album and what you do, man. That album embodies what you have accomplished, man, and what you symbolize or personify as an artist, man. You represent all of that as far as us, man, here in this area, man. It means a lot to us, man. We appreciate it, brother.
And and you mean a lot to me because you have this platform that you can be doing anything else with this platform, but you're doing what you feel is the righteous thing to do and what you see the righteous thing to be. And that's to interview any and everyone to bridge the gap. So those who don't know who this artist is, they can always tune into what you're doing and check out this artist. Or they can always, you know what I mean? So
No
it's
doubt.
a blessing that you're doing what you're doing
Thank you.
because you're using your platform to get a message out. So I definitely appreciate that. I definitely appreciate you listening to the project because sometimes, man, honestly, I don't think people are really paying attention at times. And then
Hmm.
I get a brother like you or a sister like somebody else to be paying attention and
Keep going,
listening
brother.
to the lyrics. So I think
Yeah.
Reagan, I think Reagan era is the best. I think Reagan era is one of the best projects that I've put out right now.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Right now. And we have so much other work to do, but Reagan era feels like DC, and that's the
I
message
love
I
it,
wanted to
bro.
get across, man.
I'm
Because when we shot when we shot the video, there were people out there, of course, but we
yeah,
wanted that feel. There was a
exactly.
brother. If you saw the brother like with the mask on and he was dancing,
Yeah.
he was already watching us on the side. He was like, "Yo,
Yeah.
come on, you want to be in the
Yeah,
video?"
come
He was
on
like,
over
"Yeah,
there.
yeah, I'll be in it." And he just started, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like this DC right here.
Yeah, this
You
the
ain't moving too much.
man.
You ain't breakdancing. You ain't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
You
keep it
just you
authentic,
definitely.
man. Keep it authentic, man. You know how we do, man.
Yeah, man. So it was dope. And Ooh Our Visuals shot that. Ooh and Our Visuals shot that. And that
I was just
brother,
about
he's a
to ask.
part of the Beggars too. Yeah, he's
Okay.
dope. He's very dope, man. If you need some videography work or anything of that nature, commercials, advertisement, stuff like
No
that.
doubt, no doubt.
He does great work, man.
Well, you know what? I want to
Great
give a special shout out, man, to your producer, man. Your DJ slash producer, man. DJ C, man. He's dope, man. Like I love how, talk about him a little bit more, man. How influential you think he has been as far as crafting the sound, for you as an artist, man, because brother, you guys together, man, it's magic, brother. It's dope.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely appreciate that. And King has an ear to find a chop. He can take your voice,
Yeah.
chop it, and you won't even think that's you until you tell him like, "Yo, that's you." Remember when you said this?
Yeah.
He could take a Rolling Stone record and
Right.
chop it up so great that you're like, "Where you get? What is this?" Rolling Stone. But King has actually, he helped mold and design the and craft the sound.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my job as the artist and the MC is to find the pocket in which he created the sound for.
I
You know
like
what I
the way
mean?
you
Like
put
he
that.
may ask me like, "Hey, what you think about this? How you like this joint?" And I'm like, I ain't feeling that joint. It sounds cool, but I ain't feeling that joint right now. I
Right,
said, you
right.
probably hit me later when you went back to it and he'll just craft the sound. Like Reagan era, he
Right.
crafted the sound. And I just had to actually take my words and rhymes and just
Mm.
note it in there and just follow his sound.
Right.
And and I think that's it. That's where we're at. He is
Yeah.
the conductor of crafting the sound.
Right.
I am that person that's on the train. He's the
Right.
conductor. I'm the person sitting in front of the train, like, okay, how can I make this even doper? What can I write
Mm.
to
That's
make it
dope.
compatible and pair up to
Right.
King? There's certain beats he sent me, man, that he wasn't feeling, that I hopped on, and it's on A Minute of Your Time, or
Right.
it's on another project we did. And he was like, yo, you really feeling that beat? I was like, yeah, I really feeling this, because I may have a different way that I can moving
Right.
direct. So,
Mhm.
big up to that brother, because I always, thank him a lot, because he's been the life savior, and he has blew breath into our culture, and he
Mm.
has blown breath into our label, into like crafting the sound, that chakra music sound that we looking for. And it's just like, all right, let's ride this. We ain't stopping till
Right.
till you close the coffin. So let's keep going.
Hey, man,
So
I'm glad you
he's
said that,
crafted
brother.
it a lot, man.
That meant a lot. I'm glad. I like when I hear artists, talk like that, man. Like I don't want to, man. I want to still hear something from you, 2021, 2022, 2023. Because man, you ain't missing it, but you just
Yeah,
keep
man.
getting better, man. You like you said, man. You haven't peaked yet, man. You know, you haven't peaked,
Nope.
man. I
And
think this.
King
Go ahead.
hasn't peaked yet either. Like
Yeah, he's dope. He's
he's
dope.
still developed. He's
Yeah,
still doing his thing. He hasn't peaked yet either. So it's like,
yeah.
if we ain't peaked yet,
Keep
let's keep
going.
going. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And
yeah.
if we do peak, just keep going. Let's make,
Just
you
keep
know what I'm
going.
saying, and pull out some classic joints.
No doubt. No doubt.
Anytime King tells me, hey, can you write that? Can you write that over? Or can you write another rhyme for that?
Right,
I'll
right.
be like, man, why? He was like, yeah, it sounds good, but it could be tighter. You can tighten it up, like Reagan era. I sent him
Yeah.
the draft work of Reagan era, and he hit me back. He was like, yo, can you write another verse for that? I was like, nah, son, this is it. This is it. He was like, you sure? I was like, yo, it's it. It's
This is a
it right
wrap.
here.
This
So
is it.
so we finally like cleaned it up, brushed it up. He
Yeah.
was like, yeah, I see what you mean, son. He said, I apologize. I apologize. I see what you mean. I was like, yeah, this Reagan
now,
era.
now
It's
look,
cranking right. It's cranking right now.
now look, now I hear all that, man, but with all everything, when you look at like technology nowadays, as far as like MCs working with producers, do you actually, a lot of guys, they just mail in beats, they just email it. Do you guys are actually, because what I hear, man, it sounds like you guys are in the studio together, like y'all in the lab together, man. Is that how y'all work?
Yeah, so sometimes I've always go over King's house, and we don't even be talking about music. We just talking about life stuff, family things, and just kicking
Yeah.
it. you know what I'm saying, just laid back,
Yeah,
you know, just kicking it or whatever.
yeah,
Sometimes I'll go in the basement where he's at and he's already making beats. I
mm,
probably pull like a vinyl and be like, yo, have you sampled this yet? He's like, nah. He'll put it on there and we'll find something like that. Or we'll talk on FaceTime. He can be making the beat right there while I'm on
right,
FaceTime with him, while I'm over here doing something else that doesn't even, you know what I mean? It's just like, yo, I like that. I like
right.
that. Okay. So that's how we've been working. Or he'll come to the house and we'll listen to beats and things of that nature. And we'll just kick out ideas and concepts to see what sticks. And that's how, you know, I'll send a
That's
draft
the
work over
formula.
to him, and then we'll go to Night Sky Studios out in Wardorf, and we'll go out there and we'll just critique everything we need to critique and keep it moving. You know, it's not rocket science for us. It's just more of a camaraderie. It's just more of like the vibe that we have in creating.
Right. No doubt, no doubt. Well, look, brother, man, I'm so honored to have you here on this platform, brother. It's just keep doing what you're doing, man. Hopefully, man, whenever you drop something else, man, you got anything, you got anything else coming, man, in the near future, man. You know, we got this Reagan era, man.
Yeah,
This is really good, man. You guys need to check out Reagan era. It's out now. Produced
yes, it is.
by King C, DJ King C, man.
King
But you
C.
got anything else coming out, brother?
So we put up the album, the Reagan era project, up for like a Whammy, for hip hop album of the year, rap album or rap song of the year. So we
Yeah.
put that in the atmosphere and we registered our project to be a part of that. But next year,
Right.
right off the heels of Reagan era, we have One Moment Please. This
Mm.
project is a
I'm getting it.
continuation
Hold
from
on,
A
time
Minute
out,
of Your
time out.
Time.
Am I getting that's an exclusive right here? That's an exclusive?
Yeah, yeah, I would definitely send it to you.
No, no, I'm saying, have you mentioned that yet? Like on any other
Oh,
platform?
nah, I haven't mentioned on no other platform.
Hey, you hear that? We got another Bridging the Generation podcast, another exclusive, man. You know how we do, man. We keep the exclusives, man. But go ahead, finish, brother.
Yeah, man. So we have One Moment Please, which is a continuation from A Minute of Your Time.
Man, anytime.
So
Okay.
One Moment Please will probably have 7 joints on it, and it's basically based around conversation. One moment, please. Can I just get one moment, please, so I can explain to you what I got to explain to you, and then keep it moving.
Mm, that's
We got
dope.
7 tracks on that. I'm working now with another young artist in the area. Her name is she goes by Simone, or Mecca Simone, I believe, on Instagram. But at any rate, I call her Simone. So I'm working with her with this song that I want to come on the One Moment Please project.
Okay.
So we're throwing ideas around and things of that nature. But we got like 3 joints all ready to go. So next
Mm,
year, One Moment Please, we're gonna drop it in January, like probably like the
okay.
top of the year.
Okay.
Couple of weeks basically. So top of the year, that's when
My
we're dropping
birthday
everything.
month, man.
Actually, that's what's up, man. Actually, I'm gonna send you 2 of the joints. I'm not gonna
Please do.
send you all 4 right now, but
Yeah, it's cool.
I'm gonna send you 2 of the joints, and yeah, I'm gonna send you 2 of the joints that's
I'm gonna
actually
hold you through
ready to
that, man.
go at any given moment.
Artists always telling me they go send me something, man.
I'm a,
Rappers always
I,
telling me,
hey, I send
I'm
it to
gonna
you
send
right now.
me something. Only way, hold on,
I
hold on.
send it to you right now.
Let me get a shout out to the brothers that have sent me some shit. Mav, Ty Ferris, yeah, you know what I'm saying. But the rest of y'all, I love them, man. It's all good, man. You guys are busy, man. It's all good, but. But nah, I
Yeah,
got
yeah.
you,
I
brother,
will
man.
send that joint to you right
I'm
now.
looking forward to it, man. I like them exclusives, man, because I'm definitely gonna show some love to it. It's definitely go on my platform, just like this interview, man. I'm gonna represent you right. I'm gonna represent the city right, just
I
like you do.
appreciate you.
You represent us, man. So again, brother, it's been an honor, man. Where can they find your music, man? Where can the fans find your music? The viewers find your music, and where can they find you at on social media?
So social media is Enoch 7 Prophet on Instagram, Facebook. On Twitter, it's E7P. So it's E7THP on Twitter. and you can find the music on all streaming platforms. So
Okay.
you have your Google Play, which is now www.music.youtube. So that's where you can find all your Android stuff over there.
Okay.
iTunes, Bandcamp. If you don't want to deal with iTunes, you can always go to Bandcamp and find all of I think 13 of my projects on there, I believe. But yeah, you can find all that stuff there, man. Yeah, that's
Shout
it.
out to
That's where
Bandcamp,
you can
bro.
find all that.
Shout out to
Shout out
Bandcamp, bro.
Bandcamp.
Yeah. Bandcamp has really opened the doors for a lot of dope artists, man. I gotta say that, man. But look, brother, again,
Absolutely.
again, it's been an honor having you on, man. Keep doing what you're doing, man. I look
Thank you,
forward
bro.
to great things from you in 2021, man, and keep representing the culture, man, representing the city, and representing
I sure will,
representing
brother.
yourself, brother.
I sure will, brother. I give thanks for you and the podcast and your platform. So give thanks for you, man. Keep up. Keep doing what you're doing, Joe. Keep doing what you're doing.
No doubt, no doubt. But look, brother, it's been a great time, man. You take care and you have a good night. Look, one
You
more
too.
thing. Hold on. Before you go, can I get a shout out? Bridging the
What's up?
Generation podcast, shout out. Bridging the Generation podcast, shout out.
You are now rocking with Bridge the Generation podcast. Stay locked, stay in tune, and if you don't, you got some issues coming to you. Peace.
That's what I'm talking about. All right, brother, man. You take care, man. Godspeed, man.
All right, bro. All
Peace,
right, you
brother.
too, man. Godspeed
All
to you
right.
too, brother.